Okay, today we're going to be learning about the man, and we are in Sefer Yehoshua Parakeh. We're going to be going through Pasuk Yud Aleph and Yud Beis. Vayochlu ma'avur. The Pasuk says that they would eat the grain of haaretz, of the land. Mimachros haPesach matzos v'kalui. On the day after Pesach, from matzos of roasted grain. Be'etzem hayom hazeh. On the essence of that day. The Targum already discusses ma'avur means dagon. It's a strange word. Kalui shiboilim saluyim. So talking about stalks that are roasted, so to say, bad samayom, meaning on the essence of that day. Okay, fine, meaning not at the night. Next pasuk says, Vayishbois Haman, that the man stopped coming down. So the Mitsudo Zion over here says, Vayishbois inyan bittel. We're talking about it stopped. It just stopped. The man stopped. It stopped coming down over here. V'yishbois haman b'machros, it stopped. The man stopped the next day b'machros v'achlam ma'avur haaretz, when they were eating from the ground over there. Lo haya od l'bnei Yisrael man, and they didn't have any man anymore. In other words, when they ate from the grain of the land, that's when it stopped. V'yochlu mitavuras eretz Canaan b'shanahi, and they ate from the produce of Canaan, the Canaanite land, on that year. So it stopped over here. The man is coming to a stop. So the Metzudas over here explained, is talking about the beginning of Pesach, actually, that Afki miyoy misas Moshe b'shivas ar b'shiva b'other pasuk later, even though really the man stopped falling down already from the 7th of Adar. That's when Moshe died. Nevertheless, mikol makom haim nizoinim b'neis miman shebekelehem. They still were getting fed from the man in a miraculous manner. But once they started eating the regular foods, then they didn't get that anymore. That's the idea over here. So it's pretty miraculous over here. We see this concept, this idea that they were able to eat from the man even after Moshe was already dead. Now, usually the man only lasted one, at most 2 days. Over here, we see something incredibly insightful, aka which is that the man lasted a lot more time. It lasted for over a month. Incredible idea, incredible concept. So the question is, how is there no problem of no, sir? You're not allowed to eat the man if it's left over for more than a day or two. That's a well-known halacha by the man. So the Mishpatzai Zahav asked this question. How is it no problem over here of no, sir? He asked. So, so he asked a question. He's like, what's going on over here? How did they leave it? How did they leave it over? There's an issue of loisasir mimenu. You're not allowed to leave it for the morning. So he answers. I mean, there's a few answers about this, but one answer that I really like over here is b'shem the brisker of this answer over here. Is very simple. Once the man stopped coming down, once Moshe died, all of the halachas of the man didn't apply anymore. So therefore, it was already permissible. All right. So that's a nice answer from the Mishpah Zahav. The Mohan Lois has a lot of very insightful points on these psukim that we're dealing with. First of all, it points out that v'yochlu ma'avur haaretz merachas Pesach means they fulfilled the mitzvah of matzah according to halacha. Right? They had actual matzah. Even though they had them on the first day of Pesach, you can't fulfill your obligation of matzah with man. The Torah says that the only thing that you can fulfill your obligation with matzah is something that could potentially leaven. Now the man didn't leaven. It spoiled. Right? So therefore, that was a miraculous idea over here. So that's basically what he says on that point. And then he goes through some other calculations over here. And he says, look, Moshe died on the 7th of Adar, right? The man stopped coming. The man descended in the merit of Moshe. So once he passed away, it stopped. but Hashem performed a miraculous act. Even though that the man that that descended on that day, that Moshe, that last day, right? It miraculously lasted until the 16th of Nisan, so well over a month. There was a special bracha that what everyone gathered over there, that it would last for 39 days, 23 days in the month of Adar, and 16 days in the month of Nisan. Now, not only that, there was another miracle. Not only did it last, but it didn't spoil, which never happened during the 40 years when the Jews were in the desert. Usually the month only lasts a day, two, that's it. Right? So it was a tremendous miracle over here that it lasts for close to 40 days straight. And this is alluded to in a pasuk over here. Anyways, Mom always has a lot of very important points. They were in a lot of pain when the man stopped coming. They wanted more man. But once the man stopped coming, they couldn't eat anymore. So the obvious question on this is, wait a second. In the desert, they were complaining that all they had is the man. Now they want more of it? So there's a few answers to this question over here. It could be that the man tasted better after Moshe died. Because the rabbis teach us that the pious people, when they die, they could even get more things accomplished in this world than when they were alive, interestingly enough. So, therefore, that could also perhaps be applied to the man. Tasted better. Another answer is that they wanted to learn Torah in a peaceful way. When they were in the midbar, they didn't need to worry about making a living. They were able to eat the man. They didn't need to worry about any of that. And Chazal teach us that the Torah is only given to people who eat the man. aka true Torah is only learned by people who dedicate their lives to it full time. So that generation, they were fitting to receive the Torah because they didn't have the burdens of earning a livelihood. However, in these generations, when we have the yoke upon us of making money, we don't have as much time to learn Torah. So they realize right now the value of the man. So they wanted to keep it. He says he brings a little story about that. But anyways, that's the idea. So very important ideas when it comes to the man. Very important. Let's end with what it says in the Sefer Lomod Lamed. That when Moshe passed the plains of Moab, the man stopped coming down. This was that the Jews would better appreciate the produce of the land of Israel. They lacked nothing when they were in the desert for 40 years. But guess what? People who were born then, they never saw anything grow from the ground. Incredible perspective, psychological idea. They never saw food from the earth. The manna wasn't a miracle for them. It was something that they took for granted, that it came down from heaven and it could be anything that they want to eat. It came down from the skies. That's what they were used to. To them, it was more miraculous to see something grow from the ground and then they could eat it and it's food, it's edible. We're the same way, just in the inverse. We're used to food being plentiful and growing from the ground. And we take these gifts for granted. Foolish people forget where the support is really coming from. A wagon driver once complained to the Chafetz Chaim that he said that in a short amount of time, all my 3 breadwinners, my 3 horses, they all died. The carpenter thinks that his wood is his breadwinner, and the tailor his sewing machine. They all forget, says the Chafetz Chaim, that it's all Hashem. When we bench after we eat, when we say a bracha achrona after we eat, the Zohar in Parshas Vayakol relates the importance of saying benching with special joy. We have to truly express our gratitude for Hashem's kindness. We're obligated to love Hashem. Rambam in Hilchos Yesodei Torah, Perek Beis Halacha Beis writes that the way to achieve love for Hashem is to concentrate on His deeds and creation and become aware of His infinite wisdom. The more we appreciate the complexity and beauty of the world, the greater our appreciation of Hashem will be. Parshas Eikev contains the mitzvah of Birchas Hamazon, benching, and it begins with how the Jews have to remember their travels in the desert, and the Yad Hashem, the hand of Hashem, have protected them and sustained them. There's a mention made of the mann, specific mention, and its lesson. Right? In fact, we have 4 brachas in benching, and the bracha of Hazanas Hakol was composed by Moshe in gratitude for the mann. We're told that we're going to enter into a prosperous land. Prosperous land. Guess what? There's going to be food, water, resources, and they're all going to be in abundance. We're commanded to bless Hashem for this plentiful supply of food and for the land that produced it. We have to make sure not to forget. We have to remember that Hashem gave us the ability to accumulate our wealth. And its purpose is that we serve Him. The Piska Zutra explains that someone who doesn't bench transgresses the commandment. Hishamar lach pein tishkach. Watch yourself, don't forget Hashem, your God. Powerful idea. You have to realize, at the end of the day, it's not koichi v'oitzim yadi asel li yasachayil hazeh. It's not my strength, it's all Hashem, it's all coming from Hashem. That's one of the major important lessons in the man. See you next time.